So first thing first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. For real, alright, joke aside. So first thing first, Bungie made an update to Checkmate. Bungie made Checkmate better, right? I don't know. So if some of you don't know, Bungie has done an update to Checkmate. They made every gun have the same TTK from the basic sandbox, which I asked for. Excellent. Then Bungie did some updates that backpedaled what Checkmate stood for, which I disagree with. So I was on the fence about whether Bungie should let melee 2-hit or 3-hit kill in Checkmate. After playing the update, Bungie should have definitely kept melees at 3 hits to kill. There are even more aping players in Checkmate now. So annoying. With players rushing with SMGs and sidearms even more and cleaning up their kills with a melee. Something they couldn't do when melees took 3 punches. So now they have less risk while pushing players. Which is bad because now that SMGs and sidearms have their original TTK to kill again, it makes fighting them a bit more disadvantageous. Not only that, for some odd reason, Bungie decided to make the cooldowns quicker in Checkmate. I think it was 25%, now they made it 15%, so abilities come back quicker in Checkmate. Why? I don't know. I think it was good where it was at. Now, build crafting into abilities make it feel like it's not really any downtime on certain abilities now if you spec into it right. I hope they double back on that decision. Other than that, everything was cool. They did what I suggested and allowed special ammo progress on deaths to help prevent snowball effect, which I felt like it did based on my matches I went in. In 6v6 Checkmate, they made it that you spawn in with 2 special ammo before having to work for your primary, which isn't bad in 6v6, as long as they never bring that to 3v3 Checkmate. Then we're good. The TTK values definitely made it that I seen less bow users in Devil Ruins, like I said, since there's more primaries that can combat it. I swear, man, I was right, bro. I was right with most of the changes they needed to do. They just needed to revert that ability cooldown again. But I was spot on what they need to change to make Checkmate better. Now, one thing I did notice that gotta be tweaked now that TTK values are from the normal sandbox. Some weapons are way more viable than other weapons in there because of the extra health we got. Last Word slaps hard in there, on controller at least. Hard to combat with someone rushing up and full letting the whole load out on you in your chest. Pause. With Last Word. It's hard to combat it. Dead Man Tail slays in there. I had a hunter. Oh, sorry, my sorry, my alarm. Dead Man Tail slays in there. I had a hunter on my team rocking Knucklehead Radar with that gun, and he was dueling everyone, out-dueling everyone. He was slaying in there. It felt like my Igneous Hammer wasn't doing crazy in there like it was doing before the update, because of the Checkmate being set up where body shots do less damage and we have extra health in there. Guns like 140 rate of fire hand cannons now have a hard time competing in there with its slow TTK. You have to hit all your headshots and really peek shoot to win engagements, because guns like SMGs, sidearms, auto rifles, etc., they can just spray you to death without having to worry about hitting all headshots to get an optimal TTK in there now with the new update. Especially with the crazy flinch they do to you while you're using a hand cannon. Not saying hand cannons are bad in there, but it takes way more positioning now, because one body shot will literally make you lose the engagement. Can cause you to go from a 3 tap to a 4 or even 5 tap because of some guardians having high resilience. So now hand cannons feel like high risk, low reward in there. Precision instrument helped out a bit in there. In case I did hit a body shot, I could still 4 tap in the very least. But meta weapons in Checkmate now may be weapons that shoot quick with high enough impact, aka Last Word, Dead Man Tail, Suros, the Amit auto rifle, a fast shooting weapon with a damage perk like Tiger Spite with kill clip, and of course SMGs and sidearms. Definitely have to play around a bit in there to figure out what the meta is now in there with the weapons after the TTK changes. One thing I'm still noticing in there though is players leaving matches early. So let me make this clear in case there's someone watching this video that hates checkmate. Bungie already spoke out and said on Twitter that checkmate is not replacing the original Crucible game mode. Huzzah! Casual players rejoice! That's how I imagined them when they heard the news. Anyway, Bungie PvP strike team, yes, it's confirmed. The PvP strike team is still there after the layoffs, so we actually have people at Bungie actively looking and changing PvP as a whole consistently. Amazing news. They confirmed that checkmate is basically an experimental game mode they using to get data from players on their likes and dislikes of Crucible, and then will be implementing the data they gather into the original game mode, the original core sandbox of PvP to make it better. Checkmate will not, I repeat, will not become the core sandbox for Destiny. Some Destiny players in the community was upset and said Bungie should have just left checkmate in Crucible Lab and never used us as players to experiment with it during a trials weekend. Oh God, bro. Listen here, you little shits, okay? I'm starting to believe most Destiny players just love complaining and talking toxic. They don't want to talk positive at all. Everyone knows that literally 1%, maybe less than that, of the PvP player base actually goes to the Crucible Lab node to test out the new game mode Bungie is cooking up to give them data. Most players stay in their comfort zone and play the modes that they are used to because they don't want to spend time learning something new, which is a dumb reason, but I digress. Bungie forcing checkmate during a trials weekend with Igneous Hammer, a loot that everybody trying to chase after, was the smartest thing they could do as a company to get real organic data from the PvP community. The actual PvP player base, not the casual PvP players that goes into Crucible Lab to have fun playing something new. Bungie needed real PvP player data in opinions of the game mode, and that's exactly what y'all gave and did. Good job. Stop whining. How else will the PvP sandbox get better if players complain about every little thing? To be honest, I'm surprised Destiny players hate checkmate. Before Bungie made checkmate, all PvP players did was complain about the original sandbox and how broken and boring it was with Bubble Titans, Well of Radiance Warlocks, and ability spams and special ammo spam left and right with the camping and the hard scoping, yada yada yada. Now that Bungie gave us a mode with complete new sandbox to freshen up the PvP environment, y'all whine and complain instead of giving it a chance? PvP haven't had a real shakeup in years. And when we finally get one, y'all act like kids? Y'all act like little kids about it? I was gonna make a different video on this, but screw it. We're here now. We're here. I'll just say it in this video. You want to know why PvP is bad right now and why times will never go back to how they used to in PvP in Destiny? We have power crept as players, okay? Bungie kept adding new abilities, new weapons, new perks, new exotics in the game. And instead of evolving the game with these changes, Bungie kept adding band-aids to the game. A nerf here, a nerf there. A buff here, a buff there. But they never evolved the game to challenge the immense power difference we have gained as a player and Guardians. And I want to explain what I mean by players and Guardians, because that is two separate things. Back then, we never had a way to immobilize players in PvP with freeze, slow, suspend. Back then, we didn't have half as many exotics and gun perks to help us spam abilities back to back and like one-shot kill people. Back then, we didn't have so many different build crafting to our fingertips. Us players have evolved in beating the game. Okay, the game we know right now, the sandbox we are used to now, we have beaten the game. Okay, we have beaten it up, down, left, right, VA select. We have beaten the game. Okay, we know what works and what doesn't work. Our aim got better as players compared to when we first started playing Destiny. Our builds became more unique, broken, and spammy. Okay, literally we made builds that make us invincible and unkillable in PvE, and builds that make us broken in PvP with one-shotting people. Okay, we learned about stray speeds, hacks in the game, hacks, H-A-X-X, okay, like Pokemon terms, hacks. Okay, like freezing people, suspending them all day, that type of stuff. But we learn hacks in the game. We learn cheeses in the game to make the game easier. What lanes to camp, how to abuse the radar, what's overpowered and hard to fight against, what wrecks in PvP and PvE, etc. We have learned the ins and outs of this game. Because of that, there's no challenge or freshness in this game. If you put a certain amount of playtime in the game, you're bound to get good at the game, okay? What was Bungie counter to this player evolution and game evolution, you may ask? Nothing. The game didn't evolve with the player base or power creep in the game. Did Bungie try to evolve the game? Yes, but us players stopped them. When Destiny 2 first came out, players complained about the vanilla PvP, but that was Bungie's way of evolving the game after Destiny 1 PvP. It was something fresh, and it was testing the player base with something new to learn and master. Was it perfect? No, nothing's perfect. It needed a few tweaks, but it wasn't bad. Players complained, so Bungie scrapped it. When Last Wish Raid came out with Dreaming City, players complained about it being too difficult, with too many mechanics and whatnot, even though that was Bungie's way to evolve raids and tangent with players' evolution of skill from Destiny 1 raids. Now we got one of the easiest raids known to man with Root of Nightmares. Old PvE missions are a joke now with new exotics, strand, and artifact builds players make. Bungie is now trying to evolve again with the player base skill and power creep in the game with checkmate, and players are complaining. Bungie can't evolve the game if players' first feedback is toxic and complaining. I know some of you can agree with me that checkmate is super fun because it's finally something refreshing to play after being in the usual sandbox for years. We being tested to learn the new game mode and become good at it. A feeling we haven't had in a long time with Destiny. It's the same feeling when Bungie first made Trials of Osiris in Destiny 1. It's the same feeling when playing on a brand new Crucible map when you don't know the lanes and stuff. It's the same feeling of playing a new game mode. I know some players don't enjoy change, but the point of an online game is to evolve over time. Some of you new viewers to my channel don't know, but I went to college for game art and design. One of the things they taught us was metas are important in video games. It's important in video games. Metas keep the game fresh and different seasonal. It's game devs' jobs to keep dropping update changes to change the meta so that it shake up the meta and makes the game refreshing seasonal. So every time they update with buffs and nerfs and stuff, it feels like a brand new game so players don't get bored of it. Bungie didn't have a PvP team to do that for years. Now they finally have one and is ready to shake the meta up, which they did with some recent nerfs in PvP. Enjoy the change, man. All PvP players, including myself, was complaining about the current state of PvP. So why hate on Bungie with trying something new? It don't hurt to try checkmate and give your feedback. We was already hating the current state of PvP, so this is a plus to see them trying something different. You should be ecstatic seeing changes happening finally with PvP. Only people that rejecting checkmate right now are people that are stuck with using special ammo and abilities as their crutch. Open your mind and experience some new gameplay. I promise you, it will make the game feel new and refreshing again after the years of the same old, same old. That being said, that's why Destiny as a game has been declining over the years for a lot of players. Bungie haven't evolved the game with the power creep they keep adding in the game, nor have they evolved the game to challenge their player base that's been evolving in skill. I think checkmate is the right direction to go in to challenge the new and improved player base. Adding new PvP maps will challenge players on learning new maps and lanes. Think about it. When the last time we had trials on a new map no one was familiar with and players had to find lanes and discover new camping spots? Checkmate Trials was the first experience in a while since we went into Trials blind with a fresh new experience. All I'm saying is, let Bungie shake things up and give us a fresh experience. I think a lot of players are stuck in limbo and are so used to the same old in Destiny that they don't want to see a complete change. They just want Bungie to keep adding to the problem without addressing and evolving the old issues. They just want new weapons, new armor, new activities, new maps, and that's it. But Bungie clearly been doing that already, and players aren't satisfied. They may be satisfied for what? A month, and it's a wrap. So clearly Bungie needs to do more than just that. So instead of hating, we should be supporting as a community and point Bungie in the right direction with evolving the game with positive feedback and support instead of always being negative all the time. Give Bungie their flowers. They've been doing good recently. We have a PvP team finally. We can go to our vault in orbit. We wouldn't even do that. That's the best change I have in a long time. We have saved loadouts in the game, for crying out loud. The coil activity from this season is one of the best activities Bungie made since Menagerie. This recent dungeon was amazing. Checkmate is great, whether you love it or not, and the list goes on. Bungie been trying to evolve the game. Give them time and guide them. Toxicity won't help change the game. This is just my take on the matter. But what do I know though? What do I know? You know, this is my take on the matter, but what do I know? I'm just a gamer that speaks his mind and made videos on it. But I want to know you guys' opinion in the comment section down below on what you guys think. Do you think Bungie need to evolve the game, make some big changes so the game feel fresh and new again, like when a new expansion drops, instead of just saying, hey, a new subclass is the new experience and that's how we're going to make the game feel fresh and new to players again? Or do you think Bungie need to do a whole new evolution in their thought process, start making PvE more challenging with new mechanics and adding more mechanics to the game, making it more challenging even in open casual playlists, so that the game feel fresh and new and actually challenging our broken builds that we make, because we definitely have some broken PvE builds now in the game that literally Grandmaster is easy. Do you think Bungie needs to start making PvE activities way more challenging, since the player base have now became way more skilled at the game? We are not noobs at their game anymore and found the ins and outs of PvE. Do you think Bungie need to shake up the meta in the sandbox and PvP? Like really shake it up like with Checkmate, where the time of kills and stuff is different and more health and stuff. Do you think Bungie needs to lean more into Checkmate and add more PvP maps and add new PvP game modes that are more objective oriented, so that PvP feel more fresh and fulfilling and new, so that it feel like a new game instead of feeling like, oh, we just playing the same thing over and over again each week? Let me know y'all opinions down below, because I truly believe Bungie's on the right track right now with Checkmate. And if they take this same approach what they did with the coil with PvE into final shape, we may be seeing an evolution of Bungie right now with trying to evolve the game to equate to the player base evolution and skill and the power creep in the game. Would y'all be mad if Bungie decided to be even more competitive and make it that we vote and lock out certain weapons and subclasses before a match start and trials and whatnot? Or is that going too far? Would y'all love PvE, Bungie throw even harder, tankier bosses and mechanics at us and strikes and raids and stuff to challenge us even more, so our broken builds actually can be useful again instead of feeling like we just dog walking everything? I truly want to know y'all opinions down below and have a deeper discussion about this. That's why this video is longer than what I usually do. I truly want to hear you guys' opinion on this matter as a Destiny community and player base. So make sure y'all comment below. I love hearing y'all opinions and having a deep discussion with you guys. And until next time, and I am strong on a belief about evolution, because PvE, the coil feels really good, but I would have loved if they added like some real good mechanics of the bosses inside the coil. Like if they added some unique mechanics, like some raid mechanics type ish to the bosses in the coil, it would have been the perfect seasonal activity in my opinion, because I love the coil and the loot it gives, the bountiful loot it gives. I would love it. It will feel just like Menagerie when they had unique mechanics for all the bosses in there as well. But let me know y'all opinions in the comment section down below. And until next time, stay up.